are we doing today? Today is today. I've always been fascinated by the more French cuisine kind of stuff. It's a case of, the more refined stuff. To try and do that at gluten-free is another mission in itself. So I've decided I'm going to try and do challah, or another word for it is kitke. But I'm not happy doing it with just a platted version into it. I used to eat this as a child, and it was the pull apart, and it was the smell and the taste. And I've been chasing this for quite a while. Like, I think this is attempt number 10, and number 9 was better than number 10. So in here I have milk, sugar, yeast, eggs, oil. In here I have a combination of flours and binders. And I'm actually going to try and do it with an egg wash. So there's very little egg in here, but there's egg and milk. My brush and my plastic bag. Now, this should make 2, because I made one yesterday with it and it was huge. So this grows more than what I expected to grow. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it through the dough cook very briefly. As you can see, there's bits of yeast in here that haven't totally melted, dissolved, use the correct words. I'm not going to throw this in here before I get to the mixer, because this has got binders in it, and binders will start activating very quickly, and I don't want to upset this ratio. This is like bread, cake, pastry, brioche. It's an amalgamation of all my knowledge to see if I can get this. So let's go put this in the mixer, and I'll bring it back and show you the dough. Okay, all of you get in there. One time. Come on, all of you get off the side. Into the dough. What do you guys look like? You're going to work. You are going to work. Because I said you're going to work. Alright, come here. Egg wash, can you go and join that over there? You can also go join that over there. Alright, so this is my dough. But I have a suspicion, because it wasn't mixed very well or very long. This needs more mixing, and also it's sticky, which isn't a problem, because once the dough rests, it becomes unsticky. Gluten-free likes to be beaten the bejeebies out of it, and I'm going to do that. So this is beaten, very little. Going to beat it some more. Oh yes, you're looking much better. Let's go show the people what you look like. Look at our dough. It has changed. It's still sticky, but we want that sticky. We want that sticky. So, what have we got here? I have a really, really nice dough. So, this dough is going to rest. Rest the dough. Rest the bread. Gluten-free, rest. Gluten-free is about resting. Okay, so, well, that goes in there. You can, I need to wash my hands. And you can edit this, you can put it on the bottom, you can put it, but this does not go onto YouTube, okay? At the beginning, I show you what is inside. I just show you a bowl on there. So on top of that, you can put the words rice flour, 90 grams, millet flour, 150 grams, tapioca flour, 200 grams, sugar, 300 grams, yeast, 10 grams, 50 grams, eggs, 180 grams. It's between 3 and 4, but don't go over that, because you'll end up with a mess. Honey, 15 grams. Don't replace your honey, because your honey does actually help the whole process. I don't know why, it just does. Then we have 125 grams of warm milk and 125 grams of water. Our binding agents are 30 grams of xanthan gum and 10 grams of psyllium husk. Now this will make 2 loaves of bread. So you can take this part of me reading it out, because this is a new recipe, it's not in my head, and park it somewhere. But this is not to go to YouTube. Okay, so I like that. I make a noise, you know where I am. This has now got to rest, and you can see it's rested for 10 minutes. It's still sticky. It's still sticky. The idea is that we need to get this unsticky, and it will get unsticky all by itself. Don't stress about it. It will. Believe me, it will. Okay, so we'll see you in about half an hour's time. Hello, 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 hello. Our dough has risen. It has risen. and it's still sticky, but we need a sticky dough. Okay, so our dough is risen, has risen, and it's not as sticky as what it was. Park over there, please. Definitely not as sticky. Now, from past experience, I know this makes 2 loaves. So, we're going to divide this in half straight away. How good are we at guessing? Come on, 0. 620. That's about right. That's about right. The last one was 600, 600. This one looks like it's a little bit bigger. 100. Okay, so we're going to do... So you are now 650. We take you to 680. Are you 680? 90. You know what? I'm not going to fight with that. What I am going to do is I'm going to put all this dough into there. Sticky dough. Remove. Add you to there, and now you should be about the same. So we now have to divide those up again. I'm actually cleaning my hands with flour because I don't want wet hands all the time, but my hands are sticky, so I'm taking the dough off with flour. Get you so that you are sort of easier to handle. Now we need to divide this in half. Remove all those bits. Just get you a little bit less sticky with some flour. There we are. Just so that you're a little easier to handle. Right. So here we go. What's this divided by 4? So 700 divided by 2 is 350. 350 divided by 2 is 175. So we now have these 4, and we are going to shape them. Yeah, sticky dough. Sticky dough! So we're going to shape them into a ball. You can rest there like that for the time being, but we will need to make you a little bit more of a ball just now. Because we do not want hills. Do not want hills, and if you don't get this, rolled properly, you can see here I have holes and it's not going to work. So I do need to get this into a good shape as far as the balls are concerned. I learned that from my other bread. My sandwich bread is a case of this doesn't actually, why am I always getting holes? The reason I'm always getting holes is it hasn't been rolled properly, it hasn't been stretched, it hasn't been set. Alright, so that's you done. So that's 1 loaf of bread, so we're going to put you there. So what are you weighing at? Okay, so just park there, my hands. 176. No, we need them a slightly bit more even. Excuse me. Right, this is our next loaf of bread. Sticky dough. One thing about gluten-free, dough is always a whole lot more stickier than what it is with wheat. Mind you, no, brioche, even with wheat dough, is not a not sticky dough, or it's a soft dough, not a sticky dough. Okay, so I'm using my hand and I'm shaping it into a ball. Into a ball. So to make sure that I get good balls of dough, I'm taking it and I'm actually flattening it. Now my flour side's on the outside, and I'm then just going to tuck it into, and I'm going to roll it. But I'm using the flat of my hand and I'm rolling it flat. And as it comes together, I'm forming a claw. I have dough that is sealed all the way through. Just thought I'd tell you that. Making it flat. If you can find one of these, get one. And I'm now making it into a ball, using my thumb, tucking it under, making it flat, and then as it comes together, I'm making a claw. I now have very nice dough. Now you see the difference between that one and that one, making sure they're all flat. Okay, you guys are just going to park on the one side. We are now going to make it clean because we need a clean surface. But we're also going to throw some flour down. Right, you come here. So, again, taking the center of my hand and I'm rolling it out to the edges. So my hand is actually running along it. We do need skinny ends, not open to discussion. You need skinny ends because when your challah is plaited, you need those skinny ends. It just makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, go live there. Next one. So I'm literally taking my balls of dough and rolling them out. But I do need skinny ends. You'll see why in the end you need skinny ends is because it's to do with the plaiting. We want them all the same. Okay. So this is a boring part, I'm sorry. But we're going to do this for both of them. So we're going to have 8 strands of this dough. I'm impressed with myself on the length, getting the length and the thicker bit. Okay, we need a little bit more flour. This flour we are going to take off because we don't want to leave it. We don't want to leave the excess flour on this because it's not going to actually stick together, and we need it to stick together. Right, we have 4 balls. We have 4, so we have 1 loaf of bread. Now we're going to do the next one. Same process. I'm just rolling them into long thin sausages. You can get some truly fancy challah rolling, and you can play with it. But this one is an easy one. It gives me what I want, which is some bread I can actually eat. I can pull apart, I hope. Again, I need those skinny ends. Why are we getting sticky here? Come on. One side's skinnier than the other. So we need to just roll this one a little bit skinnier. Last one. So let's get this. We need the skinny ends. My left hand doesn't roll as skinny as my right hand, so I need to concentrate a bit more on my right hand than I do on my... Alright, so we have 8 of these, but we only need 4 to start with, really. 4. Now those 4, I messed myself up. You'll live there for a while for me. You guys come here, otherwise you're not going to... You're just going to get in the way of my fancy plaiting. Okay, so this now literally turns this way. Come out. We need space. Now, with my paintbrush, pastry brush, I'm actually taking any excess flour off it because I don't want that flour on there. There's some bits here that are not quite. So, let's do some rearranging here. You go in there. In actual fact, I should have just taken you out there. That will work. Now, we need these to be stuck together. So we are sticking them together. Now, the easiest way I found to do this is to always work with the right one. No matter what, the right one. This one's going to go over and then under and then over. With my right one, we need space here. I'm going to go over, I'm going to go under, and I'm going to go over. Again, the right one, I'm going to go over, under, over. So even though these are the ones that I'm moving over, under, over, it's this one that is actually being woven in. So over, under, over. Okay, so now I'm going to turn you around. But because this was my right side, and I just turned it around, it's now my left side. But I'm still going over, under, over, under. So this one is going to go over, under, over. So these are now going to get stuck together, and they're going to be stuck. So I'm now going to shrink this a little bit so it's tight, and I'm tucking those bits underneath. I have a plaited challah. Now this one seems to be a bit compromised over here, but you know what? We can only figure out what happens as it happens, and if it breaks, well, then we'll just stick it back together. Okay, so these 4 are getting stuck together. Come on, thank you. We need gaps, but you know what? We haven't taken any flour off this baby, and we need to do that. So we're going to do that. Hey, can you just stay married there, please? Thank you. Over, under, over. I know there's some people that can just throw this dough around, but remember, I'm dealing, A, I never braided before. B, I'm dealing with gluten-free. Not that able to do it. Gluten-free should be able to be as good as wheat. I don't want to eat cardboard. I want to eat what other people eat. I want stuff to look the same, to taste the same. Will not be the same, that I understand, but I do want it to be as close as normal. Now this one is playing off a childhood memory. I remember going with my grandfather to the baker. It was a Sunday treat. We'd go and get our challah. He used to call it kitke, which is the Lithuanian way of saying it. How's that? That's just tuck it under so that it is neat. Hey, somebody asked you to break, asked you to stay together. Well, they look sort of the same. They look sort of the same. Nobody's going to actually go and investigate. This one's going this way. They look the same to me. We need to get 2 pieces of parchment. I forgot that. I'll be back. Now, I used to put my parchment paper this way. I nearly set my bakery alight. Put it this way so it doesn't get into the fan. You come here and you pop it off there. You come here and you pop off there. Now, I did say we were going to paint these with egg wash, with egg and milk. So what you can do, we need to cover it all because it did burst the last time that I baked it. It really popped its skin. But whether it's because I didn't paint it, I have no idea. But this will form a skin on it. Make sure that it's nicely covered. This is, I can't tell you how much egg is in here because I just scaled my egg. Whatever egg was left over that didn't go into this, I put it into milk. So now I have this going. Now what we can do is, once it's risen, we can paint it again. We're going to paint it again before we put it in the oven, but then we can actually put seeds on it. I don't think I have seeds. I'd have a look. But you can put seeds on these crossbows, so you can put a white sesame and a black sesame. So you then land up with just fancy work, and it's all just done this way with the seeds. I used to look at these and think, oh, that's so fancy. How do you do that? And the fanciest things are often the simplest things. So we're going to put this in here until further notice. One thing about the parchment paper, it makes it easier to pick up because I'm literally picking it up by the sides because they are not, I wouldn't say they're unstable, but they're not the easiest things to pick up. So we're going to put this here and we are going to wait however long that takes to rise. It's a chilly day outside, might be 2 hours, might be 3 hours, but we'll be back when we do that. In the meantime, let me have my hands clean and we will see you back. Hello. Right, we are back with our 2 kitkes or challahs. There's one. You see how easy it is to move it when it's actually in a parchment paper. Much easier than to actually try and lift it. You can park over there. Right, so we are again egg wash on here so that we can make sure that we are catching all the pieces that have risen. So I'm getting into the crevices here and making sure it's all covered. I'm baking these on 2, on 1 because it's easier from my point of view. Make sure we cover them all. We don't want to douse it, but we do want to make sure that all the are covered, that we don't have, I don't suppose it's a problem if we have bits that are not covered. Watch out, your paintbrush might come out with hair. Hair might come out of your paintbrush. So we're going to put these into the oven and we're going to bake them. They're only baked for 30 minutes. It's like ridiculously quick. And we're going to put them in the oven for 15 minutes. We're going to take them out. We're going to paint them again if necessary. So we're going to check these again. You see this one is plaited much tighter than this one. But you know what? Nobody's going to inspect. So my oven's on, and turn my oven down and I'm going to bake it. I'll be back. My oven is on 150. It was on 200. I've turned it down to 150 because I lose 50 grams or 50 degrees when I open my oven. I didn't lose 50 degrees on this time because it was been heating for about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. So my whole oven is hot. So we're going to just let that rise for 15 minutes and then we will be back. Hello. those are looking nice. They are soft, which is a bonus. This needs to go there. Well, one is braided better than the other, but it's okay. That works. And we'll do nothing about these until tomorrow when we can cut them, but they are definitely looking better than what any of the others have been done. So on that point, I'm happy. But the test comes when they're cold. You know the rules? Don't touch gluten-free until it's cold. That being said, remove these from this hot tray and put them onto a cooling rack until tomorrow. Sorry, my top camera didn't film. Alright, so this is squishy, which looks good. Looks good from that side. Let's fetch the other one. I've actually never turned a challah over to find out what it looks like underneath. Don't know if that's right, if that's wrong. Yeah. But I'm happy with that. Look, they're squishy. They're squishy. They're not as shiny as what other ones that I've seen in the shops are. But maybe they were painted with sugar water instead, but we can work that one out. So I am going to put these to cool and don't touch until tomorrow. They're actually much lighter. Not a good idea to move two together. So far, I'm happy with that experiment. If it works, we'll post the recipe.